When I first announced Prologue, one of the things I'm talking about today, this was 3 years ago, and then life happened and game dev is hard, and it's taken us 3 years to take what we saw as an early breakthrough and an exciting idea and getting it into a place that we can start sharing it with the broader public and getting their feedback on how to make it into really something interesting. When I started this, I was trying to make a larger open world experience than most people had made, and we tried 100 by 100 kilometers, and we found the way to do that. We essentially reinvented how you create these worlds using machine learning technology, using natural Earth data to generate these worlds from latent space. And that's what our breakthrough was. We discovered terrain and the upresing of terrain within latent space. And Prologue is the kind of culmination of that journey of taking this experiment and this kind of breakthrough tech and forming it into something that we can then use to test and improve this terrain, which will form the basis for the larger worlds I want to create. So we kind of broke our journey into 3 stages. One, we tried to build the ground on which we play or have the experience, the terrain. Second, we try to fill that terrain with lots of interaction when scaling up. And then third, we try to throw a bunch of those players onto the world. But even still, after that, we'll keep adding to Prologue to test out new systems and keep iterating until we're happy that our current engine that we're working on is ready to move over for the next version of the project. Prologue started off as an experiment in Unity, and then we moved over to Unreal about 2 years ago, and the tools in Unreal have really proven to be a solid foundation to test this tech. It allows you to have a new map to play on every time you press play. A large 8x8 map where we have put a simple survival loop, get from one side of the map to the other side of the map with some difficult weather along the way. But the map itself will be unique, hopefully, every time, and we can generate millions, if not billions of maps using our tech.
Because it's more about the large scale. And again, machine learning is very good at it because it will capture the patterns that we teach it. So if we can actually capture those patterns, then the models will actually do that for ourselves. If we tell them, like, we want mountains in here, then it will actually say, okay, for the mountains, you need to have some specific shapes of the terrain, and then you need to have specific biomes around it. So that will be done for us.
It's not just raining and moody, it's not just an aesthetic thing. It's not just that the player is cold and wet. Suddenly now, oh wait, the environment gets wet, so the terrain becomes slippy, mud forms, rivers can go up. We're thinking of, like, what are all the repercussions of that and how can it affect the player's survival?
We don't want an impossible game, we want a challenging and difficult game. So the aim is never to make it impossible to finish the game, so we have to be really sure if this feature that we're adding in is not going to completely break the experience at some point playing this game.
We are building this very creatively as we go. So we're discovering, like, what is fun, what is not fun. But at its core, it is about survival and getting from your point A to point B.
I think the more we can test, the more we can get the feedback from the users or the players. That's one of the reasons why we are going into early access, because the more we can actually engage with the community and get their feedback into, maybe we need to do this in this way, or we can introduce this part, then we can actually use that information to go into the models and shape them in a different way.
We're also working on Melba, which is our in-house engine, and the way that we build the engine is allowing us to scale up to large agent interaction on massive worlds. We're putting this into the hands of the community in something we're calling preface undiscovered world. It's a very simple experiment where we have an Earth-scale planet with some various biomes and some simple systems to allow you to explore it. The way that our terrain tech works is that until you go there, that place isn't discovered. You won't know what the biome is, you won't know what the ground looks like until you go there. So it truly is an undiscovered world.
Why we are working on 2 projects at the same time? It's because I don't believe in technology developed in vacuum. This is why we have Prologue, which is on Unreal, but we are using part of our technology to generate a world. It's why we have preface, which is more about attacking the scale. So we attack the problem from both ends. And then after, we'll have some different products. And I'm saying product because sometimes it will be a game, sometimes it will be a technical demo, sometimes it will be something different. That's gonna help us to prove that the technology is ready to go to the next step. Preface, it's already on Steam, so you can go there, search for PLAYERUNKNOWN Productions and download a preface and discover the world. Even if you spend few minutes, that's gonna help us a lot because we're gonna gather data that's gonna help us to understand how the technology behaves in the wild. That's the best help you can give us for now. Then you can always go to Discord and give verbal feedback, but already downloading it and starting it will be a good help for us.
I want to get our tech into the hands of the people out there to help us form what this tech will become. Like, this terrain tech's interesting, but I really need more opinions. I want to leave it open, I want to leave it moddable. I'm not sure that's achievable right from the get-go, but I really want to involve the community early on because this is going to be a 5 or 10 year journey. So having their input early on and having their opinions and feedback, these are things you have to start early and can't just think about when you launch. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of fun, also a lot of heartbreak, but you know, the best journeys are. Prologue will be available on Steam coming in Q2 next year.